live, the Hour of Empower. I'm so honored again to have Andrea with us. And she's just been an inspiration to so many people and such a positive influence on the group. I want to invite everybody that chat's open, and we depend on you to give us direction and to bring up topics that are as important as anything today, and maybe we can get some takeaways for everybody. So with that, let me introduce Andrea. Andrea, why don't you say hello to our wonderful audience and bring us up to date? And, what are you seeing, hearing, feeling, whatever?
Hi, yes, I'm back. Let's put it that way. What do I hear and feel? What I feel is amazing gratitude. I really feel what I've been through. I really feel that I have been given yet another chance, chance to put things right for me and for others. Yeah, sounds weird, but maybe I don't know. It feels like. It feels like something big. I have no idea what it is going to be yet, but it feels big. As there's something big coming for me.
Well, that's terrific. Let me introduce Charles. He's from Hong Kong, and I think it's about
Mm.
midnight there. So it just shows you what a dedicated audience. And Charles, just a wonderful gentleman. If he's got a great background and somebody I would reach out to. And I would use this show as a way of making connections with aligned people of common interest, and people that you can collaborate with, because this is too big for one person, and it's more fun when you get at least two. With that, we've got Christy calling in from Florida. Thanks so much, Christy. Christy's a regular. She is hosting on Fridays. So, we're getting to see really, really cool people who have great insights. And we've got Omar, who was a guest
Mm.
host a couple weeks ago. Morning, Andrea and Don. So nice to have you. It's so beautiful to have a family that shows up pretty much every day
Oh,
together
really?
for each other. And what kind of boost can you have than having all these cheerleaders for you and you cheerleading for other people? And to get to what Andrea just said, it's just wonderful to turn living in fear to living in hope, right? It's the same world, it's the same you, it's just a whole different direction. But, I can tell by Andrea's voice that she really feels it. It's not just, wishing something, but understanding it's manifesting, and it continues to get better. So that's really so cool. So what do you say about that, Andrea?
Yeah, it is. It is about manifesting. It is. I mean, I can actually, without feeling guilty, I can actually spend an hour a day just watching the birds, and I don't have this feeling that I'm wasting my time. I just enjoy that, and I think, well, if there was anything else I was supposed to do within that hour, it will come. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that sense of life is more important. It's
Oh,
just more important, and I've learned that in those hours and days I was lying there and trying to find my breath, and I yeah I, health is the true wealth. That's it. That is the true wealth. Everything else doesn't matter. When you have the health, you can do everything. Yes, I feel yeah.
no, go ahead. You know,
Yeah, there's this one thing I'm haven't got the strengths yet, but I also think about things like what if I would go and work in Lesbos 3 weeks to help the refugees there. Yes, stuff like that. That really, it has become. yeah, it's pulling me to do stuff like that. It's just there is this urge to serve, and yeah, I have to be patient, you know. Every day I have to tell myself again, okay, Andrea, you have to be patient. And my sister's saying, you know what the doc said, huh? How many weeks have you done so far? And I say 2. Okay, you have 4 more weeks to go to take it easy, you know. And I'll go like, okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, just so everybody knows, Andrea is recovering from being not so well and getting better all the time. So I think it's so important to be patient, and it gives you a chance to reflect. And especially what Andrea has said is, if you don't have health, nothing else matters, right? Because how much can you do? How much can you enjoy? Right? And I
Yeah.
think that really lends itself to reviewing one's priorities, right? Sometimes people sacrifice health for things that won't support them if they don't have their health, right? If you're working too hard, trying to make too much money, that may not be a good thing for your balance. Kelly's here. Kelly's just great. Let me see. I get a little mixed up with these. Okay, here's Kelly. Thanks so much, Kelly. It's always great to have you. Omar says, yesterday I took off of work and just wanted a day off. I sat in the sun and biked and felt wonderful. We need that sometimes. You should always put yourself first, because then you're stronger for everybody else around you, right? The better you take care of yourself, the less someone has to take care of you. Chastity, who's a great friend of Gretchen. Good morning, Don and Andrea. It's always good to see people. And, just for people to say good morning to each other is a rarity. I pass people by and they start looking at their shoes as they get closer, as opposed to saying hello. Kelly says, God bless you, Andrea.
Thank you, Kelly.
It's nice to not only come back to an audience, but to come back to friendships. And that's what we're developing over time, is people who really mesh and align with other people and find ways to be better together than they could have on their own. What do you think about that, Andrea?
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I need to tell this story. I am at this very moment. I am at my first mother-in-law. Her son and I, we have 2 kids together, and when he died, he was already remarried with someone else, but we kept being one big family. So when I was so ill, and I'm living alone, right? So my son drove into Germany to pick me up. So I am now here in the Netherlands, and he dropped me at his granny's. So, and Granny she's turning 89 next week. But she is so fit, and she was determined that Joshua would bring me here so that I could come and have a rest here, and she would feed me and stuff like this. And she's succeeding. I already put her half a kilo on. So but can you imagine when we have this she's also somebody who has faith, and when we have this inner trust and faith that the world is good, we can achieve and do so much. Yeah. And she's my hero, not only mine, she's also my children's hero. And last summer, she was sitting in front of a wall, and behind her were the wings of an angel, and she didn't see that. So my child took a picture of that, and we are going to do something with this picture for her birthday. But she is so kind, yeah, so kind, and it's so it comes from her heart, and I like that, huh? When people speak and act from the heart, and I had a lot to learn in those days. I wasn't capable of speaking from the heart because I didn't even love myself, right? So there is so there's so much to share in here on LinkedIn. It's about life, about our work, about, yeah,
Well,
love, love.
that's a
Huh?
great story because the story speaks to reconnection, reuniting, helping each other, being kind to each other. This is something everybody has the ability to do.
Mm,
They don't have the mindset or motivation to do it. So either they're not of that particular direction, or they just, like you say, they lock themselves in and they keep themselves and their voice down instead of amplifying their voice and doing it through other people. One person yelling by themselves can only go so far and only sound so loud. When you can, lock arms with people
yeah.
who want to support you, and that's all you need. I mean, like you said, a son and a mother in law created an opportunity, right? By yourself, you couldn't have done what just happened,
Yeah.
right? So it proves collaboration, partnering, and it's more fun. And to your point, Andrea, you get a story out of it that you can tell us, which then
Mhm.
helps us, right?
Yeah.
And inspires and motivates. So, you're right. LinkedIn and LinkedIn Live is the best I think you can do for connecting in real time with real people, having your conversation of your heart right now, not something
Mhm.
you prepared 3 days ago, something that you worked on and manicured maybe, versus just being you, right? There's no script here. We don't know what we're going to say next. And that's the beauty of it. What do you think, Andrea?
Yeah, I think I've read the post also. I think it was today or yesterday, but it was also about people and humanity. And my answer was that if I look around, and you will have that too, and others will have it. There are so many machines out there, machines who have been created by our society. We are just we take on board what our ancestors, our parents, and whoever around us is saying, and believe it is right, and it's not right, because if you look around, there are so many unhappy people. Yeah, so many unhappy people. You look around and you think, how, if only I could help you to get that penny drops. Yes, that there is a way which allows you to have such a beautiful life, to get up in the morning and have a look outside and see, oh, it's raining, and don't go like, it's raining, what a shitty day. No, thinking it's raining. The plants may need it. Yes, that's why it's raining. You know, being able to switch every second, every moment, and changing changing your mindset. And I'm not saying that I am the superhero in changing my mindset. No, I mean, I have some days, like yesterday, I had a day I was like, I didn't like my day so much. And then I'm talking with friends about it. That is so important, that you do surround yourself with people who already have this experience of how important it is to go through life in a positive way. Yes. So I was a bit down, and I got this small talk for like a half an hour, and I was back up again. And The same thing happened when I was so sick. I tried to breathe, and the more I was trying to breathe, the less I could breathe. And I was lying there, and I was thinking about Wim Hof, the breathing, the ice king, the breathing expert, and also about a friend of mine, a Zen coach, Richard Ahmed, and I was thinking how he taught us to have these breathing exercises, and I got in contact with him, and I said, I want to breathe. Can you give me some advice? What exercise can I do so that I can breathe again? And you know what he said? He said, open your heart chakra, Andrea. With other words, love yourself even more now in the situation you are. The person who cannot deeply breathe in, accept that you cannot. And open your chakra, and you will see that that things will get better. And that's how it was. I followed a um, I followed a meditation of his, and whereby flying into universe. Yes, I was flying. I was leaving. I was leaving and was in the universe, and I was in my imagination. I was dancing, swirling around, and that helped me to calm me down, and get also this coming back to the trust and the faith, and to just surrender. That is the part which is I think everybody who has been sick in a way that it was a close call will understand that the moment you surrender will give you the calm, the yeah. Whoa, this one is deep. Damn. Oh, I wasn't going this deep today, but okay. I can't help it. It's just yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of the show. It motivates and promotes people to share and share what's comfortable, but most important, what's healthy for them,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's the key is you express yourself. You say your heart chakra. It's you have the power, right? So at that point, how do you want to use it? For you, against you, sit on the sidelines, but you can make those decisions by the moment if you want.
Yeah.
You could redirect. We've got a lot of comments. Let me just run through some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, we've got Dean. Dean's here almost every day. Thank you for coming, Dean. He loves it. Then we have Christy. We need to fly. First, love yourself and then go forward and understand that kindness matters and it's free.
Yeah.
Jody says, good morning, here to grow, pun intended. Dean is back with priorities change as we grow in age. We've got Charles Omar, totally agree, we call themselves leadership days. Then Jody's back with to be within every second of every moment is divinity within itself. Well, that's profound and I think so inspiring. Am Bimbola, who, hello, thank God I got in early. The time zone has changed. Your event used to be 5 p.m., but 4 p.m. now. I got here past 5 p.m. yesterday. I met previously live. Oh my God. Well, I should have put that in, but I wasn't thinking. Charles Caldwell says Christy Howard loved the fly idea. Charles is, like I say, out in Hong Kong. Jody Shadad. We go through what we go through, and Charles, just to review his background, I'll get to that, but let me keep going. Omar says, Charles Caldwell, awesome, love it. Christy says, Charles Call, isn't that the best? We need to chat. I'm heading to Bangkok, Vietnam in May. Would love to meet up with you if possible. Well, that's great.
Wow,
This would be
that
terrific.
would be great, huh?
Yeah. And this is what it is. No boundaries, no cultural barriers, what we're dealing with on LinkedIn Live. And everybody's somebody, right? And everybody's a person. And that alone is enough to be respectful of everyone. So Charles comes back with Christy coming by Hong Kong. We are alive and well here. Don't believe the headlines. Okay. Jody, yes, we grow from the connections in word and the way we perceive within to the thoughts and white noise that surround us. Charles, kindness is healthy, for
Mm.
sure. That's a great thought, and it's an easy thought. Christy, how is it called? Charles, no, looks like Tokyo. Yes, I have friends that live in Hong Kong. Next trip, hopefully, be Singapore, Hong Kong. Well, nothing like making plans around your LinkedIn Live acquaintances. It's great to meet up. Hey, Don, in a few months, we'll be wearing your hat. Any suggestion where to buy it? Love it. Yeah, I tell you about it, but it's a long story. But thank you very much for noticing. Uh, and that's so key. So Charles is in Hong Kong. He's, head of HR and has about 22,000 connections. And I've known Charles for a couple of years now. I've been tagging him. And it's so interesting how people you meet here a couple of years ago get to know, and then a year or two later, something comes up and you're back together again, even stronger because you made a relationship and you built a foundation. And I think Andrea's message today is all about the glass half full or the glass half empty, right? So every day you decide, you got a decision. You want to be happy, you want to be unhappy. Both are easy to achieve, but intention is how you get there. What's your thoughts, Andrea?
Yeah, that's you have to be intentional. You have to choose indeed if you want to be happy or not. And happiness does start with you, huh? It starts within. You cannot wait for somebody else to fill this in. I used to. I mean, when I left my ex narcissist, I said to a friend of mine, you know, and I thought he was my prince. And her answer was, but were you the princess? And I thought, bloody hell, how dare you say this? But it's true. I wasn't the princess, because that princess feeling comes from within you, right? And not from outside. Let it be the guy or the girl or whatever you are in love with or you're with. It has to come from within you. Nobody else can fill that in. So yeah, I she was really straightforward, and it made me think. And then I realized, yeah, that's why I have this hashtag happiness within your own hands, huh? Because that's how it is. You need to work on it yourself. Nobody else can fill that in for you.
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, the nice thing that you continue to demonstrate is open to other people's insights,
Yeah.
and people see things in you you don't notice, right? And you're not focused on. And by them, if they're good friends, sharing that with you in a constructive way, gives you another set of eyes or ears that you might have missed something. And now you can take advantage of it. And there's, if you want good mental health, you really need good support around you, because that's where everybody who you have built goodwill with have already been used to exchanging support for each other. We've got Ambimbola that says being happy is a choice each person needs to make. And,
Yes.
and Christy says, hey, it's all about the living room feeling that we chat all together. And the more safe and comfortable you are with who you're with, the easier it is to share, because you're not going to be judged. You're not going to be told things. And what you want is what you need to give first in most cases in order to model what you want back. So, while you're waiting, you could be doing for others, doing for yourself. There's so many things around you you take for granted. Like Andrea said, if you look at the flowers, if you look at the birds, if you look at the trees, if you just look at a piece of furniture and know what it took to make it, right? And where it came from, and trees and all that. Victoria's putting on a lot of claps today. Thank you, Victoria. Victoria's a lovely lady. I would reach out to her. I've known her for a few years also, and it's great to have reconnection like we talked about, and reuniting, kindness of giving hope to those who think they're all alone in this world. It's true. And there's so many ways to do it, with so many people to do it with. You never have to look for someone who needs something. Everybody's needing something, and if you can support them with something that's easy for you, then it's almost an obligation. I actually read that the more you help other people, naturally, the more you help yourself. Kelly says, love that, Andrea. Read us from my pain and leaving my narcissist.
Yeah.
And what you find through these conversations as people open up and express themselves authentically, you're never alone. You might think you were, but there's so many people who are going through or have gone through similar type situations.
Mm.
You have to applaud yourself and congratulate yourself for being a survivor, right? For coming through it and then coming through better for it, right? So you turn tragedy into triumph. Here's Victoria that says, yes, many of us feel alone and forget others feel the same way. And then, yes, Donald, okay. So it seems like there's an outpouring of compassion here, Andrea. So
Yeah, it looks that way. Yes.
you have to think about that.
So the question is for me, and I'm really curious about it. When you get up and you feel you have this day of, "Oh, it's not my day," what do you do to change it so that you actually go like, oh wow, isn't life beautiful? Isn't the world beautiful? What do you do? It's so interesting to find out, what do people do? Do they go and hang in there for the rest of the day? I mean, which is also okay. It's okay not to be okay for a day. You just have to make sure that it doesn't stay that way. Yeah. But I mean, there are some great tips, like Mel Robbins. She's saying, "High five yourself in the mirror. Just go like, hello, high five. I'm okay the way I am." I mean, that is great. Yes.
Well, sure,
It's
because when
so
you say,
simple.
yeah, and here's the beauty of it: when you say it, you hear it for the
Yeah.
first time, right? And the more you hear something, the more it takes priority over the things you're not hearing, and it goes
Mm.
both ways, right? So if you rewind the tape that you play for yourself, was it a happy tape? Was it a positive tape? And how fast do you catch yourself, and what tools can you use to get yourself out of it? A lot of people use music, right?
Yeah.
Music will change their mood. A lot of people use exercise or walking in a park. Christy says, we all have, okay. Um,
Well, you have some answers now.
Omar says, I take a walk, listen to music. Okay.
Mm.
Victoria, yes, I love Mel Robbins, and that does work, the high five habit. So
Yeah.
there's more people doing more things that you think you're the only one doing or discovering, but then there's more people who need to discover what you have, and that's what knowledge share is so important. Uh, we've got one here from okay, Andrea. I get out of my head, as that is
That's
where it starts.
beautiful.
That blah energy. Sit down, get into my heart, and just breathe my love within myself and around me. That's a wonderful exercise, and
Yeah.
just like breathing is wonderful. People acquire so many things from they don't even know where. But now people can sort what they want and then add what they like to have a better blend. of what they're doing every day and who they're doing it with. So, to get reinvention, you need redirection, right? Redirection of thought, redirection of action, redirection of relationships. What is the fit for you now? And how many people can continue to grow? Okay, we must have a good one. Christy
Yeah.
Howe, very good. Ambimbola says, I love music.
And
Dean,
Dean, it's Dean.
yeah. Oh, I hang out with you, Don. Well, that's great. And you know what? I hang out with all you. As much as you get value, I get as much or more because I found a whole new bunch of friends and family in one program that continues to build on the message, right? Is that you're really okay. We're all okay, you know, because there's no one who's 100%. I don't even know what 100% means, right? Every day someone has to go through something, right? And no one knows what it's going to be. Everybody gets a new hand every day, but it's how you play it, how you accept it, and then how you move from it. That's important. So avoiding tragedy is impossible. Life goes on with or without you. Charles Ambimbola, oh, me too. Let's
Yeah,
see.
loves music.
Here's they're getting they're
Yeah.
coming kind of quick. Animal
But the
music,
music,
my
the
soul.
music is good, actually.
Well, and you can use two things: take a walk in the park, and listen to music. Walk in a
Yeah,
forest,
that's also
experience
good.
the healing power of nature.
Yeah.
It's like food. What do you want to do today? Right? What do you want to eat today? And you make up your menu for your life. Lately, I take 30 minutes a day and do nothing for mental health. Well, that's great.
Hi, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't feel alone now, Victoria.
Well, that's where sharing is so important because either it confirms what you're doing and makes you feel like, hey, someone else is doing it too, or it tells you what someone's doing and gives you
Mm.
an opportunity to say, maybe I'll try that out. Agree, hand out, not hand up, and I think that's so important is again, show the kindness you're looking to receive. Toria tells, great idea. Imagine how different the world might be if all leaders took 30 minutes of quiet time each day. And that's so important, Charles, because people are so busy doing, they're not thinking, they're not reflecting, they're just plowing ahead, and that's where there can be issues. So, what music do you both listen to? Well, that's a good question. You
That
know,
is a good question.
a lot of it is depending on the mood, right? If you're
Yeah,
exercising, you want something that's going to be, a little bit faster beat. If you're
yeah.
sitting in a chair with your eyes closed, you want to have something, I think, a little bit more soothing. So, what music do you listen to, Andrea?
Oh wow, I really have a dark side. I have a shadow side. when when I am sad, I can do sad music and I actually go really into the sad music and at the end I come out happy. Crazy but yeah. So I like Iron Maiden and I go for Run for Your Life, That's one of the songs. And the other one, Fear of the Dark and the Number of the Beast. And I can really go into this and rock along. Yeah, this is also, that's a side of me. My kids find very funny. My kids find that very funny. But I also love, yeah, the disco time where I was when I was yeah, a teenager. Yeah, I love um, I love listening to Rod Stewart, for example, or Lady Gaga nowadays. Yeah, but some classical. Well, if I have to, but not. I wouldn't choose it myself.
Well,
But
that's who would
I'm
know
more
you'd
the
get
rock
on a
kid.
show and talk about your music choices. Charles says depends on the mood. Alex is here. It's great to see you, Alex. Dance hits of the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
Charles says Hans Zimmer is great for inspiration. Uh, there's so much different taste. I listen to Clove on iHeartRadio and take a walk, or I definitely sit down and focus on breathing regularly. Well, we
Mm.
all are sharing that we all have opportunities we use to listen to music, to be alone, uh, and it works. And at the end of the day, what you have to measure it against is happiness, right? Did you become happier for doing what you just did? And that's a good sign. Maybe you should do more of it more regularly. Dean LeBay, every genre, my Spotify has so many playlists, it has to do with my mood. Uh, yeah, and the nice thing is you have music at your fingertips. Remember, you
Mm.
used to have to buy an album. You have to have a record player. You'd have to sit somewhere where there was an electrical outlet. Now the music walks with you, and there's no end to it. Dean says, downtown train kind of girl. Uh,
Oh yeah.
well, it's funny how little things like just music selection can get people moving, can get people
Mm.
thinking. But what's so cool about these conversations is it gets you remembering, right? If so, I hear
Yeah.
so many stories of grandparents and parents and childhoods and things that come back to people. Some of them are joyful, some of them are lessons to be learned from. But the nice thing is you want to bring the good up in you that's been put behind and take some of those bad thoughts or challenging thoughts behind you, and forgiveness is a lot to do with it. Uh, uh, okay. So, we've talked about music today. We've talked about recovery today. We've talked about mental health today. And we got such a wonderful group of in the audience who makes this possible for us because we would have had to do a lot more thinking. And at the end of the day, you only have so much that takes place in your life. But if people can share a little bit more about their situation, and no one gets to where they are overnight, and no one should expect to leave where they are overnight, right? Just like if you're going on a trip, you're going to pack in advance, you're going to get reservations. It's the same thing as you can plan for happiness if you want to take a journey to it. What's your thoughts, Andrea?
Well, about journey, you know what couch surfing is? That's a new one. Oh my god. Do you know what it is?
You go from one couch to another.
Couch surfing? Because there is this other idea of mine, right? I know so many people from LinkedIn all over the world, and couch surfing is usually done by young people. They travel the world and they spend the night on a couch by somewhere at someone's place and then move on. And I was wondering, do you think that I could travel the world and meet people from LinkedIn by couch surfing, by saying, "Hey, can I spend the night on your couch tonight, and then tomorrow I will be there or there, and then my next flight will be there or there." That is something I always wonder. Would that be possible?
Yeah, what you could do is you could make a LinkedIn live show of something like that, and
Yeah.
broadcast from your next couch and interview the person you're staying with. And that's why I'm so big on these LinkedIn lives is it connects people. It builds relationships with a lot of people at the same time. It shares people inner value and strength that's not visible on a resume or on just a text message. So you could the world's your oyster if you know
Yeah.
how to open it up. And that's why now I'm really focusing on getting more people to do more LinkedIn lives and doing a 4-week course possibly just to say, okay, you're all set to go, and get people into broadcasting because it's such a huge opportunity. Victoria says, yes, I agree. Dean says, let's go. Uh, I'm in. I ain't got nothing keeping me here. So
Now let's meet.
Yeah, you could have started a movement today, Andrea. Everybody's trying to
Oh yeah, that would be great. And a whole show around it. Wouldn't that be great?
yeah, it'd be unique, So
Yeah.
yeah, that's so cool the way you came up with that idea, Andrea.
Yeah.
So looks like a lot of people in the audience are motivated in that direction too. So yeah, I mean, where would you like to travel in?
Yeah, Victoria is volunteering. Oh,
Nice.
it's
I'm out there
great.
for first couch surfer. Who knows? There could be 1,000 that
Yeah.
sign up by the end of the day, Andrea. So call it surfing with Andrea.
Call it surfing with Andrea. Yeah, okay.
Well, you should create that hashtag. So 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 what else is new, Andrea?
Well,
What have you been learning from LinkedIn, just out of curiosity, lately?
what else is new? That is really a private thing I'm going to share here. But wait. Uh, Oops. I promised myself when I was lying there, and I promised myself when you feeling better, when you really getting healthy, then you do start dating.
Mm.
So I have a date tomorrow. I really have I have a date tomorrow. And I'm going like, oh my goodness me, Andrea. But okay, I promised myself I'm going to yeah. I was with I belong to those who were saying yeah, I'm open for new relationships. Yeah, but how do you find them? Are you going out? Are you dating? And I was like, no, no, I'm not dating. So I started dating. Tomorrow will be my my first experience. Yeah, kind of. It's funny. It's really funny. I wonder where this will end. I mean, yeah, meeting new people.
Well, that's a story we're going to have to hear about the next time you're on. So you have to take notes to bring us up to
Yeah,
date. Well, maybe you can share your surfing idea, you know, and keep it rolling. Um,
yeah, that might be the best. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm negative or I'm positive. I'm just open for it, and I see where it happens. I mean, you hear some fabulous, awesome, pretty bad stories about dating. So I just wait and see. I take it with humor.
yeah, and it shows, and that's the most important thing, is be able to laugh at everything,
Yeah,
because it takes a lot of the sting away from it, possibly. Uh,
yeah.
Victoria says yes, dating cliff notes on the couch. Well,
Okay, dating with Andrea could be another show.
you could have your own network pretty soon, Andrea, with all of your ideas. You could do a daily show, couch surfing one
Yeah,
day, dating the next day, you know? And it's, people are fascinated by people who are doing new things and trying new
yeah,
things, really expanding their horizons and their relationships. So, today
yeah,
has been just terrific. We still have a few more minutes, and I just love the
yeah.
interaction, because you could have never.
I think I've got to combine it all. I mean, the surfing, then on my travels, speaking about loving yourself first, right? Right? Yeah, the thing I want to do, a big audience, and dating on the way. I mean, huh? I've cracked it, right? It's a super idea. You just have to put it on paper, because otherwise it stays just how do you say that? Dreams become reality when you put them on paper. Otherwise, they just stay an idea.
Mhm.
So I better start.
Well, it's amazing that you went from learning or hoping just to breathe to
Yeah,
now going into couch surfing and dating soon after.
Right, huh?
So it doesn't take.
And in between some work as well. I mean, helping others to discover self-love. Huh. What more do I want?
So you're talking about
Nothing really, right?
traveling, Andrea. So where have you traveled to? Are you a big traveler?
Uh, well, I haven't been able to, right?
Mhm.
Like anybody else, over the last three years almost. Well, I could go to Nigeria. Bimbola is already here. She says, "Great, Andrea. Okay, there's my first invite." Meeting people in Nigeria. No, I'd love to. I've been to America before, but that was just Houston, Texas, right? You know the story about the sheriff, and I would like to go back. Yes, I like to see India. I have a lot of followers from India, and that was also beautiful when I kind of all of a sudden, as if people they didn't know I was sick, but all of a sudden I got messages from people saying, um, I enclose you in my prayer today," and that came out of nowhere, and I was, wow, how how beautiful the universe works, right? And I just sent back, "Oh, I'm so grateful. I need that right now." Yes.
Mhm.
So amazing, yeah, amazing. And another one who sent a message saying, "Oh, I thought I'd lost you. I'm so happy you are back." That's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah.
Well,
So yeah, wherever my followers are, yeah, I would like to go it's everywhere, Europe, outside Europe. Yeah.
well, you really know how much goodwill you have shared and built based on when you're not there for a day or you don't include somebody in something
Yeah.
and they worry about you because there is some positive dependency on everybody, right? That people together make a big difference. And, I think just knowing that someone cares about you who doesn't even know you that well, but has that interest in your welfare, in how you're doing. And this show is a way to actually demonstrate it, right? With comments that you wouldn't have known Kelly's thoughts towards you or Victoria's or Charles, and every day is a different mix, of different people, some of the same people. But every week it gets one or two more core people to it. And they bring someone. And that's the beauty of organic growth. Ambimbola, who's here every day,
She's
says
amazing.
Andrea.
Yeah,
In
I'd
Nigeria,
love to
they
go
would
back
be
to
great.
Nigeria.
And Ambimbola had a really cool picture of her mother last week on LinkedIn for Women's
Yeah.
International Day that everybody noticed. And, it's the things you do that people notice and appreciate because there's a lot of
Mm.
people say things, but when it comes to doing something, they're kind of fair weather friends. So, and Victoria says, I wish I could attend daily, but I'm meeting conflicts. Well, you can always watch them later. Everything is taped, and I've got over 200 of them in a row that you could binge forever and you still wouldn't have enough time. But, the key is you always need to get whatever you need that day. Like we talked about changing your music with the mood, but at least there's
Mm.
people, there's a show. I would advocate reaching out to people like Charles and Andrea and everybody here and at least connecting, saying hello if there's some interest or alignment. Dean says, thanks for introducing me to this, Andrea.
Yeah. I get in contact with you. You're gonna serve together. We are going to serve together.
Yeah, the live is where it's at because no one knows the next second what's going to be said. If someone
Yeah.
was said we're going to talk about music and couch surfing and dating, on a LinkedIn live show, but if you planned it, you would exclude all of that.
Yeah.
If we just had an outline, inspiration does exist, but it must find you working. Yeah,
Mm.
action is everything. Talking, thinking, I mean, it helps. Don't tempt me. Uh-oh.
He's pulling out already. You
Yeah.
see that?
So, well, this is a new concept for everybody, this sort of thing, so it's going to take a while for it to kind of settle in. So how do you keep your sense of humor so bright, Andrea?
Poof. Yeah, and somebody else asked me this one. Actually, was saying, how can you, with everything you have been through and recently, how can you still smile? And I, I don't know, because life is beautiful. Life is beautiful. You just need to see it. Yeah, life is beautiful, and yeah, that's it. And I can smile about that, and besides that, my smile is my trademark.
Well,
One of my clients said, she said to me, Andrea, when you smile, you light up my life. It starts shining. You start shining, and it's my life is full of light. And I'm going, okay. If it only takes my smile, you can have it. I'm happy to give it to you.
well, and that's such a change from what you were saying before, because I know on other LinkedIn lives, you mentioned that some people have near-death experiences, but you were living dead for a
Mm,
while. So, that's quite a transformation, wouldn't you say?
it is. Yes. And then sometimes I just go like this and look at myself and think, how did you do that? Andrea, how did you do that? And I just went step by step. Every day I added something. I added exercise. I added gratitude list. I added meditation. I added thinking about the beautiful things in my life which happened, and made a list of them, beautiful moments. Not just the gratitude list. I'm grateful for this or that, and now there is so much gratitude within me. I don't even know how to start my list. Can you imagine? I just go like, what am I going to write down today? Oh, uh, by the time I go like, I don't know. I just feel it. Let me feel it. That's the most important part. Just feel it. Huh? Keep the feeling, and yeah, and then the first thing which really changed me in wanting to change and feeling the importance of changing was when I realized that I had been with a narcissist. I've gone through all those emotions like everybody else. Things like, how is this possible? How could this happen to me? Why let it happen? And stuff like that. And then it was the moment of, I'm not staying in this feeling. I want to thrive from this experience. I don't want to be the victim of the narcissist. He's not going to win. I'm going to thrive from this experience. And that changed everything. That moment of recognizing no victim, too much, too low of energy. I didn't want that, and it would have meant that he would win after all. Yes,
Mhm. Yeah, well, that everything you're experiencing today wouldn't have been possible without that decision before.
exactly. And I will say this here, and hopefully I will never say it again. I know why the universe presented me with COVID and the breathing difficulties, because I was still smoking. And the universe was saying, Andrea, you keep telling everybody how much you love yourself, but you don't love yourself enough to stop smoking. We will help you. So I'm a non-smoker.
Well, congratulations for that too. And Charles says, stress management and depression prevention are laughing matters. Almost anything
Yeah.
can be taken as an opportunity to lighten up when you're uncertain and fearful about the future of having a challenging day or rough week. Let yourself laugh. So true, Charles, and so valuable of insight for people. And then we have your smile does light up the world. Thank you for sharing the light with us. So I'm sure. So, it's nice to be acknowledged right after,
Yes, thank you, Kelly, very much. So, yeah.
you know. Um, so I know we're kind of wrapping it up. If you have any more questions or comments in the audience, be happy to address them. Dennis is here. Dennis is a great guy, always rhyming. Agree, better to smile than have denial. And, everybody has so much to offer.
You puff better. Yeah.
Let me see, Dennis. Now you puff better. A lot of levity. You are such an amazing person, Andrea, and honestly, your laughs and smiles brought fun, and it's spreading. Well, isn't that great that you can bring so much value in such a small amount of time to so many wonderful people?
Amazing, huh? Amazing, amazing. It's just, it's a wonderful feeling.
But
Yeah.
but the nice thing, it's true, right? It
Yeah.
comes from the heart,
Yeah.
and people not only feel it, but take the time and effort to express it and share it in front of people.
Yeah.
And the other nice thing about
Beautiful.
the show, there's no negativity. There's no one bringing anybody down or complaining or anything like that. Amiable, oh, agree. Well, Charles, I got to give you credit for being up this late and participating so well,
Really? Yeah.
being in Hong Kong. And this is a story that has no boundaries, no cultural boundaries. It's just people being what people hopefully want to continue to be going forward. If everybody was doing what we're doing every day, right? Learning, sharing, supporting. And that's where decentralization, peer to peer, makes so much sense because institutions are not equipped to handle what's out there. So people need to take it in their own hands, just like Andrea decided, I'm not going to be a victim. No one should be a victim of anything, especially themselves,
No.
right? I was just thinking if you had a leaky faucet, you would get up and turn it off. If you had a light that was burning in a room that you weren't in, you would turn it off. But if you let yourself lose your energy, you know, that's something you should correct. Stay blessed, guys. See you soon. Off to work. Smile, smile, smile. Well, this has been great. Well, thank you so much again, Andrea. I try to be respectful at the top of the hour during business days because I know people have to get to their next appointment. So
Yeah.
I want to thank the audience.
Well,
And
I'm a sick leave, huh? I'm just enjoying myself.
Andrea, final words to the audience.
It was great. It was great being here, and I'm happy that I made you happy. Obviously, and the comments are very nice, and that make me happy. Thank you for that.
Well, you're an honor to have on and a bright light, and already Dean's back to making plans with you in Hong Kong.
Oh,
Let's take Hong Kong Charles Place first.
okay.
Oh, how big is your place, Charles? Agree, coming from the heart is so much better than from a fart. Okay. Charles, let's do it. Okay, so now the three of you got
Yeah,
it all
that's
set up.
good.
Have a fantastic day. Uh, I have to jet. Thanks, Andrea and Donald. Well, thank you, because with all of us, nothing would have happened today. And it's nice to meet by plan and purpose and by accident. So let's keep doing it. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a special guest, a new guest for the first time, Raquel Flores.
Raquel. Oh,
Do you know
So
Raquel?
yes, I know Raquel.
So
Yes,
what do you have to say about Raquel?
she's beautiful. She's beautiful. Now, yeah, inside out, she's
Yeah, and she's
beautiful.
got a great story. So hopefully you'll
Yeah.
get to meet Raquel tomorrow. Charles says, whatever, big and big enough. So he's got a big enough place.
All right.
Okay, so
Yay.
don't have to worry.
Let's make plans.
Well, thank you, Charles. You're so generous and thoughtful, and I so appreciate you supporting the show along with everybody else. So, with that said, bye for now. Rest up. Come back in 23 hours and meet Raquel for another boost, and we'll talk again. Thanks so much, Andrea. Bye
Yeah.
for now.
Bye bye.